Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is here on this Friday, December the 8th, 2023, in the place to be. Baby. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing fantastic, magnificently, and marvelous because I am. I'm doing fantastic. I started to record a video earlier, but I was just bumbling and I was extremely rambling. Because I was thinking about drinking some more coffee, getting me something else to eat. I got clothes to wash, blah blah blah. I got myself so distracted, which is expected, and because those things have to get done. We cannot just believe that we have to focus exclusively on our careers, our other facets of our responsibilities and neglect other things, because that's what we've done for so long, that it's not balanced, it's not neutralized, and it's not equally effective as it could be. And because it can't be all about career, is my point. It can't always be about creativity as well. I mean, like I said, I got to wash clothes. I have to feed myself. I have to keep my house or keep my apartment clean. I have to pay bills. I have to do this, blah, 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 blah. So those are things that have to be considered if you choose to. A lot of people believe that, hey, I'm creating this magnificent project here. I don't have time to clean my room. I don't have time to clean my house. I don't have time to wash my clothes. I don't have time to go get a haircut. I don't have time to go get my teeth clean. Okay, come on now. There's no need for that. Neglecting those facets of your materialism, of your materialness. You have to keep your body healthy. You want to smell good. You want to look presentable. Okay, to be spending all day on a computer program, or spending all day on this or that and the other. If you physically look at people that are doing that, they look unhealthy. Okay, that's just a perception of me visually watching some people on the social media platforms, on the internet, in person. Okay, to be in person and dealing with the public, you need to make sure that your breath is, that you have a clean mouth, or more importantly, giving people a distance. So that if you do have a body odor or whatever is going on, you're properly distanced from people, where, it doesn't become a distraction. It's important to be presentable, is my point. So I wanted to introduce something that I hope to cultivate and build on, as I venture out into the land of into the land of rediscovering things or discovering things, having some type of adventure, enthusiasm, and whatnot about my future and what I hope to do and the impact I hope to make. A lot of things are going to have to, especially when it involves psychiatrists, philosophers, people involved in science, even creativity. There's going to have, there's those meeting of the minds have to come together at some point and consider how we can save ourselves from ourselves. Okay, again, a lot of the damage has been done, and there's going to be some upcoming tragedies, some upcoming catastrophes, some upcoming events, and this and that and the other. And we know that. We see it and hear it and sense it and receive it on, whether it's in the news, whether it's in our backyards, whether it's in with our next door neighbor, whether it's across the seas, over the mountains. Okay, all of us are going to be experiencing these type of, and a lot of people call them, we always want to give a name to them to keep raising the bar on how degenerate we are becoming. Okay, we want to raise the bar on that instead of figuring out how to lower the bar on those type of actions and behaviors. And so what that means is it has to start from the foundation. We need to revisit our foundation of what it means to be normal. Okay? And so that's going to involve these minds of scientists, like I said, philosophers, psychiatrists, creatives, all of that type of energy of thoughts to come together with the ego suspended. Okay, nobody cares about how many awards you've received. It's coming to that. I mean, it's happening. This is what we're in the consequences. So, it's irrelevant. Okay, and if you get offended, take it off the personal and make it impersonal. What your credentials are important, of course, but it's not about what awards you received, what degrees you have. It's about your intentions and what's your purpose. Do you want to help, or do you want to continue the cycle as is continually? So it's going to require, it's a lot. I say a lot, like restart, revamp, remaster, and that could be used. Let's see what that. I mean, we're gonna have to raise the bar on our languages, of course, and we're gonna also have to lower the bar on the acceptance of the degeneracy that we are, and the deterioration of our consciousness that we are allowing to go on and on and on without considering it. Okay, our consciousness is of the utmost importance, because that is how that sets the stage of what our realities and our futures will be. More importantly, what are we thinking about? The energy of the thoughts. Okay, if we want to talk about quantum, and if we want to talk about physics, electricity, all that kind of stuff, energy, all of that is invisible. Okay, that's invisible, but nonetheless is important. Do we all agree? A lot of people are fascinated by quantum technology now. Of course, AI technology, and the fact of whether AI is conscious or not. Okay, it all depends on, like I said, it's just like Frankenstein. Who created Frankenstein? Okay, and then what happened in the end? Frankenstein turned on its maker, quote unquote, its creator, quote unquote. That is what happened to us, as a matter of fact, thousands and thousands of years ago. I told you, we are genetically modified human beings, which has caused our lifespans to shorten, and caused us to become more and more and more aggressive. Okay, I told you, as a physical that word is hard to say. Let's find another one. But as a physical human being, we are allotted a certain amount of time to contemplate, cultivate, elevate, and evolve our consciousness. Okay? Now, what's happening, across the country with these long LONE, lone wolves, is just going to escalate, because we we fail to recognize what we allow people to develop to be. For example, we all have these philosophers have these archetypes, right? Archetypes. And so we're going to have to go all the way into that if we choose to. We're going to have to, like I said, rediscover who we are and what we are as human beings and what that means. And that's going to have to come back. That's going to have to go all the way back from the foundation. Okay? we were given instructions, as I said in many videos, during the early stages of our development, which is over millions and millions of years, at least 10 million years. Okay, we had the instructions within us as to how to cultivate ourselves properly into becoming genuine human beings in a true sense. But over the course of time, with the interference and the manipulation and the deceptions via our thoughts, thus our behaviors and actions, we've done more to like I said, raise the bar of degeneracy more so than raising the bar of being humane in the true sense, being human beings in the true sense. So there's this term archetypes. Archetypes. Like a prototype, the ideal example of a type. Okay, and a lot of philosophers were involved in that, because you have to, if you choose to, you have to bring in the abstract of creativity. You have to bring in subjective thoughts, objective thoughts. Okay, all of those factors have to be involved in the discussion and conversations about what it means to be a normal human being. And we're going to have to go back and revamp that, restructure our foundation of what that means. Okay, and not only bring in the abstract, the subjective, the objective, bring in all of this sensing. What do I see, hear, feel, all of that, which is 12 of them, which includes being logical, rational, reasonable. Is it reproducible? Who's modeled it? What does it look, it has to go all the way back to that if we choose to, resolve it and save as many people or help to develop as many people as we can. I'm just being real honest. It's it's logistically impossible due to the amount of people on the planet, the equipment, the toys, and this and that and the other. In other words, it's just too much to support to make the most of the impact, if that makes sense. So like I said, with the archetype, that was a concept in philosophy, literature, psychology. And so we're going to have to incorporate all of that, as well as scientific, the abstract, the creativity. All of that has to come into play, because what we've created is anything but normal, right? In a true and genuine sense. And so the minds have to come together without being in competition, without stepping on each other, without trying to be better than everybody else. The people with all this so-called knowledge are the ones that are destroying themselves and destroying the planet as well, the population of the planet, because of that so-called intellectual, geniusy. Everybody wants to be a genius. Everybody. Nobody wants to be normal, actually. They want to be more than normal. They want to go extreme. I'm a prophet. I'm a hero. I'm a doctor. I'm a scientist. They want to take it there. They don't want to be an ordinary human being, not in the least. And sadly, we're not even ordinary. We're the most unordinary in this history of this planet. Okay, we're the most unordinary. We are unrecognizable to advanced civilizations. Actually, we're unrecognizable. So we sort of are playing into that being genetically modified, and the whole intentions of why we were genetically modified. Because in the end, the advanced humans knew that our time would run out and we would destroy ourselves. They know that there was a certain amount of allotted time that we have as to be material human beings. Okay? And a lot of these things that I'm talking about have to be, discussed face to face, in groups, so that you can sense and receive the energy of what I'm hoping to relay to you and disseminate to you, so that there's no interference. There's a proper exchange. That way you can ask me questions, I can answer them. I'll ask you questions, you answer them. It has to be that type of human to human physical contact. That's how this has to be done. That's how it was done back in the day, with the so-called prophets. Okay, they sat and they had people around them and they were discussing matters. But there's no way that we can properly do that with a massive amount of people on this planet. And that's why I say one person cannot do it. And one person, it was not a hierarchy type of structure or dissemination. It was supposed to be done on an equal playing field. Okay, the need to be better than others is why the hierarchical was created, where some people just want to be worshipped. They want people kissing their feet. Okay, bowing to them, being subjective, submissive, subservient. Okay, I hear it. I can hear that in the voice. I can hear it. Okay, when that's their intentions, even though they may be talking and saying something else, I can pick up immediately from their sounds and tones. Okay, what their intentions usually are. Okay, and I can help others to develop that as well. It's an ability, but it can be, if you suspend your ego, suspend your beliefs, suspend your faith, suspend all of this and take it off the personal and make it impersonal, you'll be surprised what you will capture within yourself, within your innermost, and how your subconscious, your conscious, your psyche, your thought, your mind, whatever you want to call it, will assist you in that development. Okay? Your consciousness is there to protect you. Okay? So that's why I say those that are running around here pretending to be something that they're not, they will be exposed. That's what culminations are. Okay? I mean, the game is over. All right? The end point. So I like to just throw out, certain concepts and let you know what I'm contemplating, cultivating, and thinking about. And this is a lifelong process. Lifelong. So that's why I'm doing this for my youngins and my young ones, so that, in the future, when they're ready, they're gonna know how to research and discern things properly, like I had to do, by being. Because for the most part, I sense that the future generations will be developed properly, and there'll be a proper intervention at adolescence, at puberty, not wait until they're adults. Once they become adults, you might as well forget about it. There are going to be a lot of lone wolves lurking through our populations for decades upon decades until they all die out. And that can take, 200 years? Or that can easily take 1,000. Okay? Or more. So, I'm what's this word I'm looking for? I'm looking for a word to look up. But I am excited and enthusiastic about everything that I envision to happen, what I cultivate, contemplate, properly meditate on, and properly ruminate as well, and do whatever I can to, because it's a continuing development. That's why there's no need to be discouraged per se, and no need to be despondent per se. You may have to pass this baton on to the next personality. You may not be able to do it in this lifetime, but you need to be aware of it. So there's no need to be despondent. There's no need to be, beating yourself up about things. When the time is up, the time is up. All you can do is rely on, like I said, as you pass the baton to someone else, and hopefully, and see what happens from there. But we all have a responsibility, because you are going to be you now and in the future. I'll explain that again later, but consider that you will be you in the future. You may look different, you may talk different, you're going to be a completely different person, but it's going to be you. Okay? So if you can snap out of it and get a grip and seriously contemplate that, meaning there's no escape. There's no escape. Okay? Now, it's not about karma. Karma has nothing to do with it. Okay? Because you ought to be glad it's not karma. Karma is just something that was just some type of fear tactic infused into our subconscious, infused into our consciousness and subconsciousness, and it just brought on nothing but fear. Okay? There is no fear unless you cultivate it yourself. There's nothing to fear except the fear you infused it within yourself. You caused the fear. Everything that's happening to you, you caused it. Okay, it's not the government. Okay, it's not law enforcement. It's not your parents. It's not your neighbors. It's not these strangers. It's not the homeless. Okay, you did it. So again, there is no escaping. Okay, living and dying go together. That's a oneness you cannot escape. Okay, so you now will be you in the future. What does that mean? You're completely different you, but it's you. So don't get all mixed up in that. I'll explain that a little bit more later. So for you to say, oh, that's not my problem. Okay, that's where that's a delusion. That's a belief. Trust me. Okay, or like I said, when somebody dies, we say, okay, we're rid of that person. We ain't got to deal with that no more. Okay, that's a delusion. Okay, that's a delusion. So it's so important that we resolve our thinking so that we are thinking properly and behaving and acting properly and repairing the damage to our consciousness. Okay, so I'm going to help with the evolution of the consciousness. That's what I said. Again, there's going to be a lot of other people coming forward, and their intentions is going to be revealed, whether it's nefarious, whether it's genuine, all that's going to be revealed. So it's so important for you, like I said, those of you that are picking up my sounds and tones from all over, wherever you are, okay, whether you are in the professional field, a non-professional field, all that superficialness that covers you, which includes your education or lack thereof, your skills and abilities or lack thereof, how many languages you speak, your race, your gender, your income levels. All that is irrelevant at the end of the day, because you're not taking none of that with you. The only thing you're taking with you is the spirit part of yourself. That's all that's going with you anywhere and will be with you forever and ever and ever. Okay, your materialism or your materialness is not limited. Okay, it's at some point it will decay, or it will decay and eventually turn into dust. Everything will, materialistically. But your spirit is going on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And it don't stop. Okay, and it continues to evolve for some. The others that are not evolving properly will just get spun out into a black hole, into another idea. Because we are as a result of an idea. Okay, the Big Bang was an idea. We are part of that. Okay, we have that energy within us. Okay, it's an innermost being. And so I think if people had known this millions of years ago, they would have responded differently. That's difficult to say. I think, like I said, in the future, there's going to be some of us that will be able to go back to our future. I mean, go back to our past as a part of an adventure, as something about gathering knowledge. It's going to be, there has to be a specific reason for doing that. In other words, a lot of people call it time traveling. Okay, what those words mean are meaningless right now, and they've lost their value because of how we've incorporated so much confusion and extremism. In fact, being so fanatical and radical and ugh. But some of us in the future, in the distant future, okay, I mean, millions and millions and millions of years in the future, will be able to go back to our past. But we won't be able to make any changes, of course. But we can go back and possibly have conversations with our future, with our past selves. Who knows? Okay, who knows? But what's important to know is that you are responsible and accountable for evolving. That involves activity. That involves action. That involves moving around, doing things, and sitting there, in atrophy, or saying, okay, somebody else is going to take care of it. You're gonna bring in some type of experiences that you are not going to survive, right? Because you're not going to have the will. You're not going to have the strength, okay, the fortitude, the intentions, the purpose, okay? So I want to introduce these type of conversations and discussions because I hope to open it up, to some of the minds out there that are resonating to this, resonating to my sounds and tones, and find this fascinating. I find it all fascinating. Okay, I find it all I have immense joy. So I know at my last hours in this personality, I know I'm going to be ready to pass this baton on. Okay, I'm going to be ready to do that and welcome passing it on and putting it on my neck, on my future personality's shoulders per se, but put the necessary factors of the right essence of cultivation on my future personality's shoulder. Meaning, I resolved these imbalances, and now I'm operating at a more pristine, genuine human being in the true sense. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and send peace and love to everyone, all over the stars, all over the moon and mountains. It's all about love. It's all about universal love. That's why I do this. Okay, peace and love, and trust me, I'll be back.